Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, June the 6th, 2023. I hope you had a great weekend, and I'm excited to be back with you today. I have a fun fold. I think you all have heard how much I love fun folds. Well, today I kind of designed my own, and I'm calling it a Fold Down Joy Fold. So we are going to use the Hey Chuck bundle. I think it's a really sweet and kind of hilarious bundle with some cute images. And I decided to use a joy fold because I was able to kind of tell a story or have a sequence to my stamped images and greetings. So, if you're not familiar with a joy fold, it is a card within a card, where you have two card bases. And I'm going to show you how to do it. There's several different styles, but this is one I've kind of created on my own, and I think it's fun. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy you're here with me and that you found me, and I hope you'll enjoy today's card. And if you are returning or catching me on the replay, thank you so much for your support and helping me grow my channel. Let's flip that camera down and get started. Now, if you're not familiar with the Hey Chuck bundle, I'm going to bring in the catalog and just give you a quick look at it. Now, straighten out my camera here. So it is on page 49 of the new annual catalog. Now, it's kind of a follow-up to the Hey Chick bundles. I never had the Hey Chick, but I was always kind of sorry I didn't get them. But I think these are such cute images. And we're going to actually be using 3 of these. We're going to use this one, and we're using this one. So let's get started. And I am going to bring in my card base. Now, I have to tell you, I did do a lot of prep work on this just because if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of a lot to show you, but it's really an easy card. So we are going to start off with an 8.5 by 5.5 card base scored at 4.25. Now, don't worry about the measurements because by noon, there will be a downloadable PDF with a corresponding link to this video right down below in the description. And you're going to be able to get all the measurements there. So just sit back, relax, enjoy your coffee or tea, and enjoy the card class. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this on the score line, and I'm going to fold into the hill, and we're going to go ahead and burnish this with our bone folder. Now I want to make sure I get some nice crisp score lines or fold lines because you're going to have 2 cards in one, so it's going to be a little bit thicker than usual. Okay, next, we are going to use a 4 by 5.25 inch of copper clay. Now, because it's a Hey Chuck bundle, I kind of chose masculine colors because we're making a masculine birthday card. And I went ahead and I embossed it with our new exposed brick embossing folder. And I'm going to bring that in here for you for just a minute. And I went ahead and embossed ahead of time just to kind of save us some time. Because I know your time is important and valuable, and more than talking and all that, you'd like to see how to do it. So we're going to add some multi-purpose glue. I am a green glue person. I love it because it allows me to slide, and especially with embossed layers of cardstock, all these crevices, you can get the glue in there and it's going to hold down really well. So we're going to go ahead and center that. And I just want to make sure my edges are adhered. Okay, so that's the start of our card base. Next, we are going to add a second layer of copper clay, again 4 by 5.25, to the inside of our card base here. Now I'm using this to carry my colors through because my next card base is white. If you don't want to use this extra layer, you can make the card without it. No problem. So let's go ahead and add this here, and we're going to center it. Again, why I use the green glue, because I can scooch this over if I can grab a hold of it. There we go. Just going to straighten that out a little bit, and that looks good. Now, next, I'm going to bring in the white card base. Now, this is a crazy measurement. It is 7.5, and I believe by 3 3/4. Don't quote me, it'll be in the PDF. And it's scored at 3 3/4. Now, I went ahead and I embossed the front of this card using that exposed brick embossing folder. And I'm going to go ahead and fold it on the score line. And I want to make sure I match that up. That looks good. And I'm going to turn it over to score it or to burnish it so that I don't flatten my embossed design. Now this card, remember, a joy fold is a card within a card. This card is going to go in here just like this, so that when we open it, we're going to get a greeting and an image. We're going to open this down, and we're going to have another sentiment and an image in here. So with that, I am going to go ahead and adhere this to the inside. Now, I'm doing it ahead of time. Let me just get some glue here. I'm doing this ahead of time because I've cut another white layer to place in here. But if you don't want to have another layer and you want to stamp and color an image on here, you're not going to adhere it ahead of time. And you'll see what I mean in just a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and slide this down a little bit. And that looks good. It's centered. I'm going to give it a good press. And we're going to set this over to the side. Our card bases are done and ready. Hi, Carol. Welcome. I'm so happy you're joining me. So this is ready for us to go. So what's next? Okay, I have cut another piece of crumb cake. And this is 4 by, I think it's 2.5. And I cut that way because I want it to fit right up against the edges of my embossed layer. Then I cut another piece that's 1/4 inch smaller in basic white, and we're going to use that to decorate and stamp and put our images on. So let's set those over, and now we need some basic white to stamp an image. Now I'm only going to stamp one image because I want you to be able to see how to make the card, and you don't need to see me how to color 3 different roosters. But I am going to show you how I colored one, because I think the coloring is fun, and I think it's important to show you some of the options that you can use for that. So I've gone ahead and I've stamped one of the roosters, and let me bring these little guys in for you. These are cling stamps, and you have 4 different images. So I picked one to color for you and show you. We are going to color this little guy. And I have pulled in several of my Stampin' Blends, and I'm using copper clay. I'm using Calypso Coral. I'm using Daffodil Delight, the dark. Sweet Sorbet is here. And then I pulled in my Pecan Pie. So I have all these different colors here. And we're going to start off with the copper clay. And I'm going to use the dark. I tend to use the brush tip more than I do the pen tips. And I'm just going to add a little bit of dark. Going to pick up those accent lines from the stamps. And I want to add a little bit in here. So I'm just adding around the edges and those accent marks. Now I'm going to come in with the Calypso Coral. And I'm going to add some more. Now the Calypso Coral is going to be a little bit brighter, a little bit oranger. And it's going to leave that copper clay as like an outline or an accent mark on the inside. So I'm just coloring and kind of picking up that. I am very light-handed when I use my Stampin' Blends. I don't like to flatten my tip out. And I also find if I'm light-handed and that I'm not right up on top of the edge of the stamp, that I don't have a lot of running or anything on the outside of my stamped images. So I'm going to come in a little bit with some light copper clay now, and I'm just going to go over this and add. And we're still going to pick it up with our Calypso Coral. Now, you'll see, I've seen some images where the roosters are white, and so you may be thinking, why did I pick the colors I did? Well, we actually have a rooster not far from where we live that seems to crow every morning, and he's on a farm about a mile away, and you can still hear him. And I actually one day was driving by and saw him, and he was this beautiful, I don't know, reddish brown color that I thought was simply gorgeous. Almost looked, he wasn't a hen, but he was gorgeous. So I kind of based my colors off of that rooster I've seen. Now I'm picking up my light copper clay, and I'm going to come in and get his head part here. And we're going to give him a little bit of color in this. We're going to add some yellow and just make them look kind of goofy, which sometimes they do. Hi, Penny. Thank you for joining me. It is a cute stamp set. It's kind of a fun stamp set, kind of hilarious, and such a great one for masculine cards. So we're just going to give him a little bit of color in here. And I'm going to take that down onto his, and then I'm going to come back in with my light clay, copper clay. And when I get to such a small area, like around here, I simply am dotting. I find then that I don't get anything outside the lines, and that brush point with the fine tip does a really nice job. And let's bring in the rest of this color here. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of red right in here. I forget what that's called. And we're going to do his legs in yellow. It's kind of a funny looking little guy, isn't he? But he is cute. And then let's make his beak yellow. All right, so here's this coloring, and you can see, I'm going to hold it up, and hopefully you can see the different colors in there and the from combining and blending all those colors. So let me show you what they look like when they're cut out. When you get your dies are going to come, mine are on a magnetic sheet, but you get one for every one of those stamped images of the rooster. You get the vein you get a fence, and you get the sun and a cake. Now, I used this one on Daffodil Delight and cut out a sun. There is that you can do. So that's what we're going to use for ours. But I'm going to get rid of this little guy. We're going to move all these off to the side, and I'm going to bring in all of our different pieces, parts to finish up this card. So I'm going to start off, we're going to go back to this piece of white, and I'm going to stamp my greeting. And one of the greetings is Rise and Shine, and I'm going to stamp this in the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp it right up here in the very corner. Okay. And next, I want to stamp You've Got Something to Crow About, because we're going to attach our sun. In fact, let's do that now. And this little guy, where he looks like he's yelling out and crowing. So let's go ahead and stamp our bottom greeting. And I'm going to make sure I get this right down on the very bottom. Yeah, didn't turn out well. Let's flip this over. That's why you always have two sides to the paper. I'm trying not to get my head in the camera, so let's do this. That looks better. Ah, look at that. Let's see if that'll cover up. Well, I'm going to cover that with a gem. There's always a way to fix it. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this, Rise and Shine. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere my sun, and I am going to use multi-purpose glue. There's always a way to fix your mistakes. And let's straighten this out a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and adhere this little guy with Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm going to bring in my minis, and we're going to pop a few up on there. So thank you, Carol. I'm glad that you like it. Now, when I'm using my Stampin' Dimensionals, if I'm something small like this, I'll use my minis, or I also will cut my larger ones. And I do have some left on the edge here. And because I want his feet to stay, not get torn or caught going in an envelope, I'm going to cut two little pieces of Stampin' Dimensionals to put across his feet. And that will adhere him really well to the card, especially if he's going through the mail. I don't want him to kind of come up and get torn or flattened out. So let's go ahead and we're going to remove those, and we're going to pop them on. And they are, some of the areas on these are kind of fragile, so you want to be careful. Well, there we go. All right, let's pop him on here. So Rise and Shine, You've Got Something to Crow About. And we're going to adhere this to our crumb cake and put that on the front of our card. Always two sides to your paper. So let's go ahead. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to be using these color dots. They're the 2023, 2025 color dots. So I'm just going to go ahead right now and pick one up. And I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to pick up a smaller one and put one here. And then we're going to pick up another and put it right there. So an easy way to fix is use your embellishments. And now we're going to adhere this to the front of our card. All right, now we're ready to go to the inside for this card. And I'm going to straighten that out a little bit. It comes right up to the edge. And another reason to use glue, I can pick that up. And you want to make sure you get enough glue on the layer you're going to put the on top of embossing, because again, you want it to be able to stick. Now on the inside here, we're going to use this little guy. And we are going to glue him down because we do have a lot of layers here. And I also don't want to add any more bulk to this card. And you can see he's in his shorts here, polka dot. And he's going to be holding a birthday cake. I had colored and cut this out. This is from our the stamp set and the dies. And this is going to go right in his hand. Now, I did cut and put "It's Your Birthday." So I did trim it, and then I cut a mat in the copper clay just so it would look nice, add a little bit to it for the matting. So let's go ahead and adhere this. And then we're going to attach this right up here. So how appropriate. He's holding a birthday cake and it says "It's your birthday." All right. Now the inside. So your joy fold is going to fold down. This is your second card within a card. Now I used another layer and I stamped the bigger rooster and put "You Rule the Roost." And you have plenty of room to sign your card. But if you don't want to add this layer, you simply wouldn't attach your white inside card, the basic white, so early, and you could stamp your rooster and your sentiment here, color it in, and then adhere it to the inside of your card. So you don't have to use the layer. I just like a white layer on a white layer. I think it just looks nice. So let's look at our card. So here's your joy fold. Rise and shine. You've got something to crow about. Open it up. It's your birthday. He's holding a cake. Bring it down. You rule the roost. So such a sweet card. Funny. Kind of cute images. So I hope you enjoyed today's card. Now, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like a catalog, I would love to have the opportunity to earn your business. Just click up in the top banner of my YouTube, go over to my website, hit contact me, and send me an email with your name and address. I'll be happy to put one in the mail for you. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel, and feel free to share it. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly had fun doing it for you. And I will be back with you on Friday at 11 a.m. You have a great week. Stay safe, healthy, and happy stamping.